Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful East Cobb Baseball Complex. Casey Bass and Chance Beam. Looking forward to a great quarterfinal elimination game matchup between Team Grant from Oakland, California, and the RBA Titans from Snellville, Georgia. Chance, beautiful day. We've had a lot of rain last night. The field's going to be a little bit wetter than normal. But they're probably going to be relieved of that, as we saw a very hard playing surface and dusty playing surface yesterday.
Absolutely. The ball obviously have a much better bounce. I'm sure the fields crew and the teams itself much rather have the rain we had last night to kind of soften some things up.
So these teams are going to get ready to go. They've both lost one game apiece. The Titans lost a heartbreaker last night. We had that game on. They led most of the way, and then the Central Florida Gators exploded in the fifth inning for 11 runs. And although they were trailing going into the fifth inning, they were run ruled in the fifth inning. So they never got another opportunity. So as soon as Miss Sherry Lynn Fivash gets us off of her monitor station, we'll get underway so we don't lose our mind. She didn't hear me. No, I'm just hearing you. Thank you. So now we're ready to go. On the mound for Team Grant is Miles Williams. You'll have to excuse us. We are separated by our truck from a little way, so we can't give hand signals to each other. But we will get everything under control. Leading it off for the Titans is going to be Harrison Stover, and Harrison, the center fielder, and he takes the first pitch and pops it up on the infield. Going back for it, Shane Garrett. Called off by the second baseman, Vasquez, and that's a nice start for Williams.
Looking at this team from California, you can tell they're incredibly athletic. Watching them moving around this morning, they look like a very, very quick athletic team, and so I'm excited about seeing these guys go to work this morning.
The fun thing about watching these games this week, Chance, has been that just about everybody can play every position, and it's got to be a challenge for these managers to figure out where to put the kids. I guess it's a blessing at some point, but if a guy's having a bad day at short, you can move him to third or you can move him to center field. Davis Sharp now, who'll be pitching today, he takes a cut at a fastball and is in the hole 0-1.
Yeah, you can see these hitters being aggressive early in the count, looking for a first pitch fastball. Both first and second hitter ready to looking swinging at the first pitch.
Miles Williams winds, kicks, fires. Change up outside corner for strike two.
Yeah, you were talking before about the athleticism. As from a coaching standpoint, it's nice when you say, yeah, we got six shortstops. You just plug them in and let's go to work.
It's kind of been tough for us sometimes when we get the rosters, there's no positions, and the coach goes, they're going to play a different position every inning. I don't know why you want me to give you a position. Which makes it challenging for us to keep up with. Swinging strike three, and Miles Williams very quickly has two outs here in his first inning. We'll go real quick around the infield from first to third. Shane Garrett at first, Emilio Vasquez, your second baseman, Ryan Jenkins at short, and Ricky Martinez playing the hot corner. The other direction, Tavion Henderson's in left, Darius Foster, your center fielder, Robbie Brew in right. On the mound, Miles Williams, and London Penland completes the battery. Fastball inside corner, and Miles Williams has control of that fastball today.
No, he definitely pinpoint. He's worked in on that first pitch of the three-hole hitter, and the two previous hitters really worked away and look to have great command of the zone so far.
Fastball again just misses off the outside corner.
Watching this guy go, I mean, obviously he's pretty well taught, incredibly athletic, but has tremendous control of his motion, and so far definitely been able to repeat delivery.
1-1 count to the second baseman, Luke McDevitt. He'll step out.
We start to get the third or fourth inning, you can talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more about repeat delivery and what coaches are looking for when they're looking to change pitchers.
There's a fastball up at the letters. Good pitch, foul back.
Very nice. And
it's 1-2. London Penland behind the dish, big kid.
Yes, he is.
We've seen some size. We were laughing yesterday that there were on this team here, the Titans, and on that Gators team, that Central Florida team, just a lot of size. However, they all look small because TJ Ben, the first baseman, was so big. Did you get the chance to meet TJ Ben?
I did not.
He looks like Ryan Howard. A joke that he was one ground rule double away from a Subway endorsement. He's huge. Great kid, great smile. He's athletic. He can run, big arm, but he's a monster. He's bigger than me.
Wow.
And so everybody looked small standing next to him no matter who they were. And a swing and a miss, strike three. So 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. No score. Looks like Davis Sharp is going to start from the stretch, and I guess he'll stay there all day, and he'll have Darius Foster, the center fielder, to deal with first. It's the Travel Ball National Championship, presented by TravelBallSelect.com, as a fastball sails high and wide for ball one. No score here, bottom of the first inning. Casey Bass and Chance Beam, glad that you've joined us on this early sunny morning. Fastball driven high and deep and in the gap in left center field. Foster on his horse, going to look for second, and he's going to slide in for a double. Throw gets away, but nice job backing it up over there by the first baseman, Robert Bennett, and a good start for California as a double leads them off, and Emilio Vasquez now with a runner in scoring position. Checks the runner and fires a fastball in there for a strike to Vasquez, and it's 0-1.
Oh, wow. Stepped off, threw across his body. That's definitely going to cause a problem.
Yeah, and we just talked yesterday about, how many times we had seen throwovers, but we hadn't seen anyone advance. We had one yesterday, and that's what got me talking. We hadn't seen anybody advance on a poor throwover, but here in our very first game and our very first throwover, we get an opportunity. You say you threw across his body.
Stepping with his right foot, kind of stepping across and throwing the right hand, so he's really kind of throwing across his body instead of using the inside move, turning glove side.
His fastball's going to be fouled up and out of play.
And those little mistakes a lot of times don't show in the scorebook that end up showing real big at the end of the day in the final score. That one base now. Guy on second takes a hit to score him. Now ground ball in the middle, he scores, and game changes on the matter of one swing.
Off-speed pitch is grounded, foul, and out of play. It's going to take me about 2 or 3 innings to figure out where to look here to pick the baseball up with my little beam right here, but we're going to manage. I can move my power rate, I guess, and I can see the guy on third. Climbs the ladder with a fastball and gets him swinging for the first out. Down goes Vasquez, and that'll bring up Ricky Martinez. Martinez is playing first base now. We just got a position change. I want to thank the coaches for Team Grant for getting that to us. Rick Martinez, Eddie Abrams. It's difficult on us to figure out where these boys are playing as much as they move around, and so thanks for the information. 1-0 now to Ricky Martinez. At third is Darius Foster. No score, 1 out. Bottom half of the first inning, Travel Ball National Championship. This is a quarterfinal elimination game. Off-speed pitch catches the inside corner for strike one.
Oh, wow.
Good fastball lifted high in the air and down the line, and foul.
Oh, wow. That ball was absolutely hit a mile.
He hit that about as far as you could hit it, just a little bit out in front.
Stay there. Got to stay inside that pitch just a little bit more to keep that ball fair, but he absolutely hit that ball a ton.
That's one of those where your quick twitch muscles take over.
Absolutely.
Not a good idea to try to say quick twitch at 8 o'clock in the morning. Just make a note. If all you guys plan on going broadcasting school, that should be rule number 3.
Now let's see if he can keep his ball gap to gap and score a run for his team.
Pulls his hands inside there and fights off what would have filled the count up. Playing back, anything on the ground should score a run here.
I would think so. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier, trying to stay gap to gap, saying keeping the hitter trying to keep the ball from left center field to right center field, and if you can keep it in a big part of the ballpark, you should be able to score a run here. All got him out front.
Yeah, nice change up there.
Great job from the pitching standpoint. Guy hits a home run foul. A lot of times the best thing you can do is throw him an off-speed pitch, big and fat, right inside, and he'll pull right off of it, and that's exactly what that pitcher did. Very, very nice.
Look at this, Jason Reeves.
Wow.
Robbie Brew, number 66 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Big boy.
I like any guy steps in the batter's box with offensive guard number on. That's a winner with me.
Great feet and hands, right?
Oh, yeah. The most talented people and most underappreciated people on the planet, offensive guards. Not that I was a guard or anything. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And not that I wore number 66. I bet there's a story there. I wonder how Mr. Brew ended up wearing number 66.
Not sure.
That's not an accident.
I could tell you one thing. You could see the pitchers definitely made a huge adjustment from the very first hitter of the game to the last two hitters, where now he's gone more off-speed pitches and really stayed away, and trying to use those hitters' aggression against them.
Bailey Hopkins, we saw him last night, does great work behind the dish, saves a run for his team there. Fastball fought off, again staying away.
It's hard to believe a lot of these guys are 12 years old, watching them play, watching them how they're going about their business. I know in coaching older guys, I'm wishing some of my guys had some of these same swings.
And they really do. They communicate well. We've seen some outstanding base running.
Oh, wow.
Just misses with the curveball. That's a good pitch. And that puts runners on the corner with 2 outs for the shortstop. Make sure he didn't get changed. For the shortstop, Ryan Jenkins.
And honestly, walking a 4-hole hitter is probably not a bad idea. You got 2 outs. Go ahead and move it on to the 5 guy. Get a ground ball. Step on it at second base. Call it a day.
Well, he throws him a good pitch there to get him to chase.
Absolutely.
No reason to give in here in the first inning.
Absolutely not, especially with the base open.
So Sharp will stretch and fakes to third. Looks to first. Didn't work. I heard a rumor that next year in Major League Baseball, that's going to become a balk.
Absolutely. Actually, you just took the words right out of my mouth. That's why something I was just thinking about it. I'd read the same article that it's in discussion that 31 mood being taken out and being considered a balk, as it's deceiving the runner from first base. So we'll certainly stay tuned on that.
I love that the definition of a balk is deceiving the runner. From the time that I was 7 years old, I started. All baseball is a deception.
Absolutely.
You want to get a baseball player excited, don't hit a grand slam, run a cool deke. That's all it takes.
A lot of truth in there.
Fastball for a strike to Ryan Jenkins. Runners on second and third. We'll go defensive indifference to second for Ronnie Brew. Fastball just misses outside.
All right, now
We got a problem.
Now we got a problem. We're running out of real estate. Nowhere to put these people. We got to put the ball in play, make them force contact. If he can pitch out of problems here, he may be able to be okay, but he's definitely running up that pitch count being in the first inning.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for the big catcher, and he'll take strike 1. London Penland, who wears number 8, which has been worn by many a great major leaguer. And he's down 0-1, and a nice little swerve there gets him in a hole 0-2. That's been the problem, I think, for Sharp, is he's been unable to get the last 2 batters to offer at that curveball. Here it just looked too good for Penland, and he offered. There he climbs the ladder with the curveball and just misses. And he'll have it 1-2. Good shape here for Sharp, but this is the kind of situation where my dad would tell me as a batter, remember who's in trouble here.
Yeah.
Fastball grounded to the
Step
shortstop.
on it. So,
That's the catfish. Wow. He goes to second and no good.
And that's going to bring home 2.
So 2 runs are going to score. Brew comes in from second. Foster from third. They got the ground ball they needed, but unable to make the exchange at second base. Put Jenkins at second. And Penland reaches on the air, and it's 2-0 California. I didn't see what happened on the exchange. I was kind of lost behind this.
Yeah, the runner and the second baseman kind of got caught up into it. The shortstop didn't quite come get the baseball. On the smaller fields, on the bigger field, actually, that's a much easier play. On the smaller field, that's actually a tougher play because the bases being so tight. And guys, honestly, just being so athletic, being quick to the next base, actually, he probably should have went to first on that one.
Yeah, I thought he would go to first. Catfish has got a big-time arm. But I was worried he might have gotten shielded by the runner coming from second to third. Off-speed pitch misses the inside corner. So see how Shane Garrett bears down, not Shane Garrett, Davis Sharp bears down here after thinking that he'd get out of the inning. Instead, 2-run score, and here he is still in trouble. And he's got to get big Shane Garrett out. Fastball climbs the ladder and gets a swing and a strike.
One thing I can say about all these guys from California, if you notice how close they all stand to the plate, even this guy, he's actually further off the plate than the last 2 to 3 hitters. They've really been standing on top of the plate, crowding the plate, looking for a pitch they could pull.
Yeah, it gives them great plate coverage. It also gives you the opportunity on that curveball that Davis likes to throw to take it the other way, even if it breaks out of the zone. Strike 3 gets him looking, and he strikes out the side, does Davis Sharp, but not before 2 runs cross on 1 hit. 1 error. They leave 2 on. We go to the top half of the 2nd inning. 2-0, California leads. Miles Williams now toes the rubber, and he will have catfish Sendoya, and Sendoya swinging at the first pitch, and he fouls it off. You know, he's got a little bit of frustration after what could have been an inning-ending ground ball turned into a 2-run error. Fastball misses high and away, and it's 1-1. They've moved Shane Garrett to catcher. London Penland has gone to second base. Fastball catches the outside corner. Good pitch there. 1-2. Emilio Vasquez has gone to third base. Fouled off right side, and that will disturb someone else's baseball game. And Ricky Martinez is your first baseman. I get the feeling that this is one of those shakeups that changes 4 positions because one guy might have forgot like a shin guard or something. Left it at the hotel. Big curveball, just misses inside. Both of these pitchers have got nasty stuff.
They really do. The guy did a great job of commanding the zone, try to backdoor a curveball on the inside corner there. We'll see if that was an accident or if that was something that actually he'll be doing later.
That fastball gets away from him and fills the count up. How difficult is it for these guys? You played baseball at an extremely high level. This Titans team played until 10 o'clock last night, and then here they come out here.
You know, to be quite honest, a lot of these guys are still playing on adrenaline. And what will really tell, it'll probably be the 2nd or 3rd inning after that adrenaline's gone, everything starts to settle down. You can see guys just like that, you know, swinging at pitches out of the zone, you know, really keyed up, wanting to get that hit, kind of get something going for their team. And so after 2nd or 3rd inning, it'll start to settle down a little bit. Now we'll start to nerves will calm down a little bit. It'll just be a baseball, and then we'll get to see what these guys can really do. But that usually what I tell my guys is that first inning, you just kind of got to be able to take on the wave of emotion that's going to go, and hopefully you can get through that. And as we saw in that first inning, they gave up 2 off of just a ground ball, walked a couple guys. So hopefully they'll be able to stay in it, and then on the other side, the other team will be able to capitalize.
Yeah, 2 runs on 1 hit there in the first inning as Miles Williams gets Catfish Ndoye swinging for his 3rd strikeout of the game, and he's ahead of Robert Bennett, 0-1. And he climbs the ladder again with that fastball. We saw Catfish Ndoye pitch yesterday, and he's probably got the best curveball we've seen in this tournament. He's got a very live fastball, but he was having a really hard time spotting his fastball. He could throw that curveball behind their head and drop it in for a strike anytime he wanted to, but he couldn't spot his fastball.
Wow.
And no matter how good that curveball was, that not being able to spot his fastball. And you could tell that was not the norm as that fastball misses away. Because of the frustration you could see out of him.
Yeah,
and he was
absolutely.
used to be able to spot
and the
pitch.
funny thing of it is that, if you, just like you said, if you don't have a fastball, I don't care how good your other pitches are, everything it works down the fastball. Being able to command that fastball will really dictate a pitcher's success more times than not.
Misses inside there, evens it up 2-2.
First inning really did a great job repeating delivery. We can see the second inning starting to kind of drop his elbow, and ball started to kind of run back in that I know that he had no intention of.
And there's a single up the middle. Philip. And runs the count 1-1. Hopkins, the catcher, has done great work behind the dish the past 2 days, so far today, and then last night I was very impressed with his footwork, glove work, the way that he frames pitches, the way that he handled those pitchers. And here he grounds one to the second or third baseman, Emilio. Emilio up with it.
Wow, very, very nice. Guys did a tremendous job.
It was the old 5-4-3.
That was fun to watch. This guy's got rid of the baseball. One good throw led to another. Second baseman was on time. Great footwork. Great exchange.
So the 5-4-3 retires the base runner and the hitter and takes us to the bottom half of the second inning. Miles Williams has faced the minimum, and he leads 2-0. we good? Something like that happens, man. I just keep talking. And Tavon Henderson's going to lead it off here in their half of the second inning, and they lead 2-0. Had a little bit of technical difficulty, I understand, there in the second inning. We had a base hit and a beautiful 5-4-3 double play. This one's going to be lifted out into deep right field, and Houston Mullinex is going to be under it for the first out of the inning. Hopefully we got that 5-4-3 double play in, because it was a nice job, and Emilio Vasquez started it, and London Pendleton turned it. And it's not a play you will see often at this level.
Absolutely not. The guys did a great job with feet and hands on that one.
So one out here for Miles Williams, the pitcher. Miles takes a fastball up in the zone for ball one.
Let him off with a curveball, so he's starting to pitch backwards. We'll just have to see if that continues to be the trend.
He's got really good posture.
He does. He's kind of what we call a type 1 posture in the academy business, as far as he's more upright and staying direction to the plate. Really does a great job of controlling his head.
This one drilled and misjudged out in deep center field. That's going to get off the wall. Nice job by Harrison Stovern of getting that one off of the bricks and getting it in to hold Miles Williams to a long single.
Yeah, we talked about that last inning, and we see a lot of long singles in these ballparks. The guys hit the ball so hard, the guys cover a lot of ground and get the ball in quickly, keep them to one.
Yeah, we had two guys yesterday who were a triple away from the cycle. That's just about impossible on one of these fields.
Yeah.
And we'll have a courtesy runner here. It looks like 25. .25 is Tavion Henderson. So Henderson on to run, and we go back to the top of the order. And Foster. Foster singled and scored in the first. And here has an opportunity with the runner on and one out to add to that lead. Decent lead at first. Fakes like he's going to go. Here's one that just gets away from the second baseman. He hangs with it and is able to get the runner at first, but no double play opportunity as it was bobbled. But McDevitt, nice job of hanging with it.
Yeah, that ball's really hit hard. Had a chance for double play. The guy actually did a really good job of keeping the ball in front of him, still getting the out at first.
So 4-3 goes Foster, runner in scoring position for Vasquez, who struck out in his first at bat. Vasquez, who started that nice little double play last inning, takes strike one.
They're again starting him out with a curveball, pitching him backwards.
There's an off-speed pitch. Got it up in the zone, and he got away with it. This one's out to Houston Mullinex. He settles under it. And a very quick, easy inning for Davis Sharp, just what the doctor ordered for him. We go to the third inning, 2-0 California. Williams is going to stay on the mound, and he'll see Angelo Despina, Houston Mullinex, and Kennedy Norton. So far, Miles Williams has faced the minimum and has 3 strikeouts and gets a swinging strike, fouled off strike, to start Despina. And that's kind of been the key for him, which I once asked Zane Smith, actually out here at East Cobb Baseball, what's the most important pitch in baseball? And he said strike one.
You got that right. There's nothing you can trade for strike one. It changes everything.
And that's kind of been the difference so far for Williams, is he's just been ahead of pitchers. He's been bombarding the strike zone, moving that fastball in and out.
You look at what a guy hits when he's in a 2-0 count to a 0-2 count. There's over 250 points difference.
250 points.
250 points. So needless to say, you're quite a different hitter when you're 2-0 to 0-2.
I wonder I wonder how much it has to do with, we've thought and talked a lot in the Atlanta area this year about Chipper Jones in his last year, and Chipper has always been known as a guy who has a great eye. I wonder how much that has to do with his Hall of Fame career.
Absolutely. You look at it, being able to understand the strike zone and knowing what a strike is and what a strike is not is a huge part of hitting, maybe even better, more so than having a good swing.
There's a fastball lifted up and out of play. It comes off the fence.
And what I mean by that is the fact that if you understand the strike zone, then you're not going to swing at pitches out of the zone. So you're not going to be the guy that's making himself look bad. So in turn, you're going to have better quality pitches to swing at. So in turn, you should be able to get a better swing off. So having a good understanding of the zone is a huge part of being a good hitter.
And while you can get a bat on a ball out of the zone, it's a lot easier to hit a ball hard. As the 4th strikeout gets to Despina, it's a lot easier to hit a ball hard that's in the zone, and a hard ball gets through a lot more than a little blooper does.
You got that right. We talk about wanting to hit strikes and take balls.
Right.
So it really seems just simple, but at the end of the day, it's one of the harder things to do. And what I find is that young guys, older guys, their tendency is when they get in the cages, when they're doing their pregame stuff, they swing at everything. Then they wonder why they have bad approaches at the plate.
And again, strike one, as Houston Mullinex swings at a fastball and comes up empty.
He's doing a great job of commanding his zone, and I guess basically what we tell a lot of our guys is we want to force contact, and that's exactly his approach. He's just really going after hitters, saying, "Here it is, go get it."
Williams from the wind, where he's been for all but 2 of his pitches, and he misses away, and it's 1-1 to the right fielder Mullinex, who's had quite a busy day out there in right field and has done good. He's staring right back into the sun out there too. Fastball is going to get away from Garrett. He'll put a little bit of extra juice on that one. Outfield plays pretty much straight away and deep. Deep is relative. The fences here at East Cobb are very high, like very, very high. It's like Green Monster situation, but all the way around the field. And so that allows for a shorter field and a more interesting kind of playing surface. It's a little bit different game than these guys play a lot of time.
From a coaching standpoint and a playing standpoint, you really, really have to pay attention. Balls in the gap where you, again, think it's a given double, and if you're not really hustling out of the box, you're going to get thrown out at second. So it really forces hitters to get out of the box when they do hit a ball well and really get down the line.
He climbs the ladder with that fastball again. That's 5 strikeouts in 3 innings.
Oh, wow.
This is not something that we have seen. This will be the 12th game I've called, and I have yet to see a dominant pitching performance.
Wow.
I've seen some incredible offensive performances, but I've not seen a pitcher just take a game over. And right now, that's what's going on with Miles Williams. As he induces another ground ball, Vasquez all the way across the diamond throws a strike to Ricky Martinez, and once again, 3 up, 3 down for Miles Williams. We go to the 3rd inning, 2-0, California leads.
That dude's got a hose.
Then he takes strike one. Not Darius Foster. This is Ricky Martinez. I'm having book difficulty sometimes.
Wow, good pitch.
They were out of my normal book. I have a big book that's tons of room, and I can keep up with it. And I had to settle for this book, and I'm still learning it. We're still getting to know each other. 1-1 now to Martinez. Martinez swings at a changeup on the inside corner. He gets in a hole 1-2. He struck out in his first at bat on a deep count. I wish we had. We're talking in the commercial break. I was talking to our PA over here, Mr. Reeves, and hit by a pitch is going to send Mr. Martinez to first base. I'd like to have a one of those information sheets from this Oakland team about who their favorite baseball player is, and how many of them it would be Jimmy Rollins, because Jimmy's from Oakland, and I got to talk to Jimmy a few years ago. Me and Sherry Lynn went and interviewed him up in Philadelphia. Great guy, just a fantastic guy, and he told a story. I think we're ready at first now. He told a story about how we were talking about who his heroes were, and he, without a shadow of a doubt, didn't hesitate, said Ricky Henderson. And he said that the first time they went to Oakland to play, when he was with the Phillies, Ricky was still there. Or Ricky had come back, or I don't remember how Ricky's career went. But Ricky was there. And he said that he wanted to meet Ricky Henderson so bad, and that he knew that Ricky worked out strike one on the outside corner before every game he lifted. Which, if you look at Ricky Henderson's biceps, you'll understand that Ricky lifted before every game. So he says, this is Jimmy Rollins, National League MVP. So he says he goes over to the weight room before the game. He looks through the little window, and sure enough, Ricky's in there doing curls. He said he jumped back like a little kid, like he didn't want him to see him. He said, so finally he opened the door and he walked in. He said, I'm gonna be a stud. Because that one's fouled off the catcher's mask, and number 66 has got 2 strikes on him. And so he sits down next to Ricky Henderson, and he said, I grabbed weights that were too big for me, and I start lifting like it's no big deal. And I'm sweating and huffing and puffing, and finally I said, I can't do this anymore. So he looks over at Ricky Henderson, and he says, Mr. Henderson, I'm Jimmy Rollins. Nice to meet you. He said Ricky just looked at him and didn't say nothing. Then he says, oh, man, what a hop. That's the difference in today and yesterday right there.
Exactly.
That little bit of rain we had has softened that dirt up.
That ball stayed down and made it a really, really tough play.
So it stayed down on Sendoya, and sort of an infield hit for Robbie Brew, puts runners at first and second with nobody out. So Henderson just wouldn't talk to him. So finally he says, I think you went to school with my dad, James Rollins. And he said he dropped his weights and looked at him and said, James Rollins is your daddy? And he said, yeah. He said, oh, man, how you doing? He said he wasn't interested in talking to the league MVP, but he was interested in talking to my daddy's son, which I thought was really cool. Even at that level, men are still men, you know.
Exactly.
There's a bunt popped up.
Wow.
Could be caught by Hopkins. And luckily for the California squad, the runner stayed home. So Jenkins, unable to move the runners up, will bring up London Penland.
That seems so simple, and pop up on a bunt, guys stay home. But that's one of the things from a coaching standpoint we always battle, and you can tell obviously California squad's very well coached. They stayed home on a popped up bunt and weren't able to get doubled off, so that's good for them. I'm sure they would have much rather this the bunt that had gotten down.
Swing and a miss for strike one. And a fastball just below the knees. Nice job laying off of that by London Penland. Penland reached on an error that scored the 2 runs.
The funny thing is seeing guys bunt now is as far as a baseball fan is big in my heart. The BB cores being such a big part of baseball now, it's changed the game.
Runners go, and a very nice job is what I've got down there is Spencer Chapman climbs the ladder and pulls that one down. Bailey Hopkins' throw got away from him a little bit. And Chapman keeps it where it is, but the runners advance. Fought off right side to hang in there.
We got one out here, is the second and third?
I got 1 out, second and third, 2-2 count.
Absolutely. This is an early at-bat that matters, and the fact that this could be a big difference maker in the game. He gets a hit right here, score 2 runs, really stretch that lead to 4-0.
And he gets fooled there on an off-speed pitch, but is able to hang back long enough to get a piece of it and stay alive.
Really looking at the game, you probably can pick out about 3 or 4 plays in the entire game that really make a difference in the final score, and I think these are one of these plays or plate appearances right here that will make a difference.
Fastball chopped, left side, gloved in the hole, tough play, no way. Yeah, that's just one of those that you're ranging too far. He's beating it out of the box, and an RBI infield single for London Penland makes it 3-0.
That's actually a pretty good play on both ends. Beat it down in the 6th hole from a hitting standpoint. Third baseman comes over, tries to make a play. Just good play on both ends, and try to do with it what you can.
So runner advances to third. That's Brew. And Penland stands at first.
These kids are so big and so strong, and with the BB core and how it's changed the game. You imagine what these scores would have been 2-3 years ago without the BB core.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot of the baseball guys, they will all tell you, they don't like the BB core, they hate it and all this type of stuff. And to be quite honest, from a baseball purist standpoint, I love it because, it's bringing guys back to true baseball that I think we all grew up with. You have to know how to bunt. You have to know how to steal bases. You have to know how to hit and run. On the other side, it makes it defensively. You got to know how to defend, stolen bases. You got to know how to defend a bunt. Let's face it, through the 90s and early 2000s, you didn't have to know how to do those because most clubs, if they were the big club, they were just going to stand up there and swing hard and see how far they could hit it.
It turned into slow pitch softball.
Yes.
For about 12 years.
Yes.
Fastball on the outside corner. Defensive indifference sends London Penland to second base. Okay, this is a big spot right here. Fought off at the plate for Shane Garrett. I was talking last night about the vast difference. I don't know if there's any more of a 1-run difference in baseball than the difference in a 3-run lead and a 4-run lead. I've always felt like that if you're ahead by 3, you feel pretty good. Once you get ahead by 4, you feel great.
Yeah.
And it's still a 1 at-bat situation, but the grand slam just seems like such a far place away that you feel like you can get 3 in one swing, but to get 4 in one swing, it just seems tough to get there.
The difference from a playing standpoint, the difference of the 3 to 4. A 3-run lead's hit by pitch, an error, and a double away, and now all of a sudden we're in the middle of the game. Wow, great play! Oh, got him!
Cabrera Weaver in center field comes on, makes a great play, and then fires a strike to Luke McDevitt at second base to get him out of a jam. So some good defense gets Davis Sharp out of a hole. They give up 1, but it could have been more. 3-0, we go to the 4th. Chapman, Weaver, Stovern will start off the fourth inning. 3-0. Miles Williams, who has pitched a gem so far and faced the minimum. He has given up one hit, but got a beautiful double play. 5-4-3 style. Gets one lifted high and deep and back to the track. And Tavion Henderson's there, can of corn, no problem. So one down here for Cabrera Weaver. Anytime it's the fourth inning and you're facing the guy for the first time, it means you're doing a good job. And that's what's happening here. Swing and a miss, strike one. That fastball misses away, and it's 1-1. So he's got 5 strikeouts. He's given up one hit, has walked no one, and has the benefit of a double play.
I'd say that's the picture of efficiency.
Yes. He's thrown 2 pitches from the stretch all day.
Wow.
This one's going to be grounded up the middle. Brian Jenkins is there, and he throws a strike. And these, especially the left side of this infield we've seen so far out of Jenkins, and you mentioned Vasquez, just effortless with their throws.
Yes. Guys do a great job. You know, mostly at 12-year-old baseball, you can see where the guy's really, you know, either not quite there with his feet, footwork be a little wacky, if you will. Both these guys that do a tremendous job, smooth feet, smooth hands, and Vasquez just has absolutely a cannon for an arm.
They're showing right now that you don't necessarily have to hit 15 home runs a game to be the number 3 team in the nation, which this California team is, if you pitch well and play solid defense.
And that's exactly what they've done today. They've been sharp.
Harrison Stofern, who popped up to the second baseman, his first at bat, will start their second trip through the lineup, and they'll get another look at Miles Williams. The only problem is it took them until 2 outs in the fourth inning to get there. And they are batting 11.
You actually have to commend the coaching staff in an elimination game like this to actually continue to hit 11, because a lot of guys, they would have just said, you know what, we're going to go with 9. And elimination game, you know, got to commend the coaches saying, hey, these guys have been together all summer. We're going to hit 11, and whatever that means is what that means. But we're not going to sit somebody out just because it is an elimination game. So you have to kind of tip your hat to those coaching staffs.
And when you get to this level of baseball, these teams are so good from top to bottom. You know, I saw a number 10 hitter yesterday hit 2 home runs in a game. You know, you never know which one of your 11 guys is going to be hot, too.
Absolutely not.
You don't have there's not a kid on one of these teams that, in my old days of running a recreation department, and there's his first free pass of the game as Stovern takes ball 4. So with 2 outs here in the fourth inning, the second base runner has reached for this Georgia squad, and he reaches on a walk, and Davis Sharp now has a chance to help himself. It was the old GLM joke, you know, where you get to the last 5 kids in the draft, and then you rank the moms 1 through 5, and whoever had whichever good-looking mom was the way. You don't. There's no good-looking mom picks here. These kids can play.
No, absolutely. These guys are flat-out athletes, and they come prepared. Obviously, you don't get to the level at which these guys are playing at and watching these guys go about their business and not be, one, great athletes, but also not put in a tremendous amount of work.
So back to the stretch, and he hasn't been to the stretch since the second inning. Let's see how he handles it. Miles Williams is pitching a gem. And the guy at the plate right now, Davis Sharp, has looked good too, giving up 3 runs to the number 3 team in the country.
Let's see if he can help his own cause here.
3 throwovers in a row. This is one of those times I want to walk out there and be like, look, it's the second base runner of the game.
You got 3-0 lead.
Forget
Throw
about
the ball
him.
over the plate.
Forget about him. Yeah, keep doing that right there. So Greg Maddox used to say they could only make it to third base without me. I don't know if I ever saw him throw over. Did you ever remember seeing Greg Maddox throw over? He wouldn't even look. Swing and strike. And it's a little different at this level. running is such a huge part of the, I'd say 8 through 12-year-old baseball game.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, a 12-year-old that can throw a guy out at second, if you got a guy behind the plate that actually can throw 1 out of 10 runners out, you've got a commodity. So
swing and strike 3, and as we go to break, I just looked out of my window, and I noticed something. I'm not saying that there's not good-looking moms. I'm just saying that they didn't really need the benefit of you being so good-looking to get picked. All I'm saying. So we will finish up here before I get myself in any more trouble. 3-0, California leads. Tavion Henderson, Miles Williams, and Darius Foster. As we got a new guy behind the dish, it's Despina Angelo. And Davis Sharp sails a fastball wide for ball 1. It's been the Sharp-Williams show today, and Williams so far has got the best of him, but 2 really nice pitching performances.
absolutely.
And they've kind of got a pitcher surface right now. The field's still wet, playing a little slower. Big curveball just misses high out of the zone. And 2-1. In his first at bat, Tavion flied out to right. Into the sun. Mullinex handled it nicely. And 3-1. Looks like he's reaching back for a little more on that fastball.
Worst thing he can have right here is a leadoff walk.
Curveball lifted off the top of the dugout.
I actually went to the National Coaches Convention 2 years ago, and the guys, there's twin brothers from Valdosta State. One's a head coach, one's an assistant. They did a study on Major League Baseball, and obviously Major League Baseball averages 5.5 runs a game, and they did a study showing that 93% of hitters that got on either walk, error, hit by pitch, whatever the case may be, scored at the Major League level.
93%.
Yeah, and that's at the Major League level. I'd hate to know what it is at the amateur league level.
So putting the ball in play here is Miles Williams, and he is going to reach on an error, which he may have been there anyway. We may give him a single, but he'll definitely take second on the error. I think we are going to give him a single. A little backhanded play up the line. Chapman had to pivot off the back foot and throw, and with good speed, I don't know that he would have got him. So we'll give him an infield hit, but then on the wild throw, he goes to second, and they've got a runner in scoring position.
Guess we get an opportunity to see if that, statistically speaking, holds true.
I looked at the wrong place in the book. Chapman's the one that just got plunked, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Squared for a bunt, peeled back around, and I think he got it on the hand or shoulder or elbow, not sure.
So Henderson's the one that got the single. And they'll walk it off at first base with Miles Williams. Did it get him in the hand?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looked like it might have got him in the left hand.
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of surprised that maybe that's what the coach is out discussing with the umpires. If it hit him in the hand, actually, it should be a foul ball. Hand's part of the bat.
Either way, they're going to put a runner at first base. And running is going to be Ryan Jenkins. Runners at first and second now. Nobody out. We go to the top of the lineup, and Darius Foster. Foster has singled, scored, and grounded out.
These are definitely red light pitches for this particular pitcher, and the fact that these are red lights. We got to get an out here. Try to keep and hold this team where they're at, and not let it get out of hand, because this is an inning that could definitely get out of hand in a hurry.
I think they're discussing right now who should be the courtesy runner. See, they put Jenkins in there. I believe it's the last batted out. Last batted out looks like Shane Garrett. Well, they got it sorted out now either way. Looks like both managers are equally upset, which means that the umpire probably did his job.
A lot of truth in that statement.
Fastball driven high and deep down the left field line. That ball is out of play.
That ball's incredibly well hit opposite field. Got to get a great job of staying inside that pitch and driving. And I thought it had a chance to get out of the ballpark there for a second.
Yeah, from our angle, it's difficult for us to be able to tell. And it looked like it was really close to that foul line. And Stovern gave chase but was unable to make a play. So Foster again, nobody out, 2 on, 3-0 lead. It was an odd kind of...
Yeah, there's that pickoff move he had again in the first. It really got him into a bad spot. Guys at home, don't do that.
Off-speed pitch misses.
Wow, good-looking spot there. Just missed on the outside corner.
It's been a consistent day behind the plate. I don't think anybody can argue that this home plate umpire has had a very consistent strike zone.
Depending on who you talk to, he's 50% right.
Swing and a miss, ball gets away from Despina, and the runners advance, and that's a big difference. Now you have 2 guys in running and scoring position, and Foster, a guy who can put the bat on the ball. But he's got 2 strikes on him here.
Let's see if they bring the infield in or if they're going to keep the infielders back in this situation, because obviously trying to keep the game from getting out of hand.
They'll keep him back anyway, and Davis Sharp's going to get a strikeout.
Wow, good pitch.
And his first out of the inning. So pulls the string there, gets him swinging, which is what we talked about earlier. You've got a guy with runners in scoring position being extremely aggressive, and you take a little bit off there and get him out in front. This is Emilio Vasquez, who looks like he could put a charge into one, and he takes him off again. He's got him out on the front foot bad.
Good-looking young player. This guy's incredibly athletic. We saw him earlier. You start the double play, throw the guy out at first. Great arm, great athleticism. He definitely stands at the plate and looks the part of a baseball player.
Fastball just misses away. 1-1. 3-0 your score. Bottom half of the third inning. Fourth inning, excuse me. Bottom half of the fourth inning. There's another change up for a strike. He's got that working. Are you calling that a curve? That looks like
that's probably more of a curveball. He's kind of getting off the side of it. It's definitely running away from the hitters, moving more glove side away from right-handed hitters and into lefties. But you can see how these guys are just standing on top of the plate, especially the righties from California.
Did he go? Did he go? Did he go? Yes, he did. That's got to be the single hardest call to make in all of umpiring.
Absolutely.
To check a check swing from the second base back.
I think you've had like all the hard lines and all of air time. Check a check swing.
I put myself in those situations.
Yes.
Once I wake up a little bit more, I will avoid the minefield of tongue twisters a little bit better. So back-to-back strikeouts has got Davis Sharp in a situation where he can get out of this unscathed, but he's going to have to get Ricky Martinez, the number 3 hitter. It's like it might have.
I think Coach is having a word of prayer with his catcher here to remind him, well, you got 2 outs, you've got the 3-hole hitter, we do have a base open. Let's not make the mistake over the heart of the plate. And
right. He has struck Ricky out once, and he has plunked him once, and then he came around to score. 93%
of leadoff walk score. And that's per studies that from the guys at Valdosta State. And it didn't matter if it was a hit, error, hit by pitch, and that was at the major league level. So we'll definitely see if we're battling the numbers right here. This leadoff